Hey, what's up? How you doing? Today we're talking about engagement photos. They are a very fun part about being engaged. Engagement photos have definitely been one of my favorite parts so far of the wedding planning engagement process. I've been engaged since November, got my pictures done about a little over a week ago, and it is currently May. So like the very start of May, I got my engagement pictures done, and then I'm getting married in March of next year. I didn't want to get them like right away because when we got engaged, it was obviously winter, and I wanted to get them on the beach because I live by the beach, which I wanted to do springish time, summerish time. So that's what we did. That's why we waited. But you can really get them done anytime you want. So in this video, I just kind of wanted to talk about the process of getting a photographer, getting engagement pictures done, and also just like tips, tricks, what my experience was for people who are going through this process now and just might want to know a little bit more information and maybe just want to be put at ease with preparing, how to prepare for this engagement photo shoot. So I'm going to kind of walk you through my process and give you some advice based off of my experience. So starting off with picking a photographer, obviously, I am in a little bit of a weird situation because I'm getting married elsewhere. I'm getting married in Tennessee, and right now I'm in Virginia. So I wanted to get my engagement pictures done here, which meant I wasn't going to be able to use the same photographer who's going to shoot my wedding. That is something that a lot of people do. That is something you can consider doing. If you are looking at wedding photographers, you will probably notice in their packages when you start looking through those, like what they offer, engagement sessions are a part of a lot of the packages that they would offer for a lot of different photographers. So that's something to keep in mind when you're trying to pick a photographer. I would say start looking at wedding photographers, like who you want for your actual wedding first, before you pick an engagement photographer, so that way you can sort of see if the person that you're interested in also will do like a free photo shoot for engagement, or like that's part of their package, so that way you're not wasting money if you end up going with someone who would have done an engagement shoot, but you already got it done with a different photographer you paid separately for. So, you know, advice for finding photographers, Facebook is a great place, Instagram, great place, obviously. Just Googling like engagement photographers near me, wedding photographers near me is not how I found either of my wedding photographer or my engagement photographer. I believe I found my wedding photographer through Instagram and my engagement photographer through Facebook. There are wedding pages and like groups on Facebook that if you're not a part of and you're engaged, I highly recommend. They can give you resources that you might not so easily find just through Google. So Facebook groups, great place to find photographers. For picking a photographer, just looking through their work obviously is very important. I would suggest very highly picking someone who you like their work, like a vast majority of their work already, and not picking someone like just for purely, I mean, pick someone for price. That's one thing that I'm like, I'm a budget lady. I'm a big thing is prices for me. But I would say don't just focus on like price necessarily and not like their style and then just think, oh well, I'll just show them pictures of what the style I like is, or I will just tell them what my style is and ask them to do that. Like that's probably not going to be the best. They're gonna probably shoot in their style. That's what they're gonna like, that's how they're gonna edit, that's how they're gonna shoot. So kind of just look for people who match your style, your aesthetic. If you like light and airy and bright, that's great. Look for photographers who do mostly that. If you like darker, moodier, or more like highly contrasted, whatever, look for photographers who do that. Those are tips for finding a photographer. Moving on, let's say you found your photographer. Next, you gotta find a location. So I would suggest picking a location that means something to you guys, or just a location that you find very pretty. Obviously, that's also a good option. For me, my fiance and I got engaged at the Botanical Gardens where we live, and I was interested in getting our engagement pictures there, and so I looked into that, but it was going to be like $200 just to rent the location for a photo shoot for like an hour. That was a no for me, just from a money standpoint, and we ended up doing the beach instead. Ours didn't necessarily mean too much to us specifically, but if you do have a location, like the Botanical Gardens would have meant a lot for us if it wasn't $200 to shoot there, or $250 or something. It was a lot. Then I would recommend doing something that's meaningful for you. If not, just really pretty is also a good option. I personally love outdoors versus indoors. Personal taste. If you have somewhere that's like indoors and really pretty and great for you guys, perfecto, that's great. But I just personally like the aesthetic better of outdoor pictures, outdoor engagement pictures, so that's what we did. If you do have an outdoor engagement shoot session booked, let me give you some advice for what I think is the best. Just things to note about outdoor photography. Golden hour is great, highly recommend. If it's sunny outside, I don't recommend the afternoon, and golden hour works out perfectly because it's gonna be too harsh lighting wise. The sun is just like directly on you at noon when there's no shade. That's not gonna look great. It's just gonna look really harsh. You're gonna have struggles keeping your eyes open, you know, and you're like trying to smile and the sun is right in your eyes and you're just like squinting. That looks bad, on top of the fact that it's just not great to have harsh lights on you. It can wash you out and just not look as good. Highly recommend golden hour. And if you don't want to do golden hour, do a cloudy day because the clouds diffuse the light. So that looks better if it's going to be in the afternoon. And if you're going to do indoors, obviously, it doesn't matter anyway. So we've talked about location. Let's move on to outfits. So a couple things with clothing. One, I think you and your spouse should be matching at least a little bit personally, coordinating at least a little so that both of you guys look like you match, look good together, like you're not clashing, or one of you is like way dressed fancy and the other one is way dressed casual. Obviously, you want to try to match that. Try to coordinate, I think, a little bit on that. Beyond that, I recommend trying to match your background, your location. Not obviously like if you're going to a botanical gardens wearing like flowers, you don't have to do that. I don't mean that. I just mean like color scheme wise and style wise, trying to kind of match your location. So for me, I'm gonna be throwing pictures all over this video because I love these pictures so much, but also for an example. We did, like I said, a beach photo shoot. So I wore this dress that, one, I wanted to do floor length. I just thought it would be very pretty. And we wanted to do like a little fancy for our pictures. So I picked a floor length dress. The color I liked a lot for the location because it's like that sandy sort of tan camel-y color that just goes well with sand, goes well with the beach. But it wasn't just one color. It had multiple layers to the skirt. There were flowers and patterns on it, and it had sparkles, like a lot of sparkles, which I really like. I'm a sparkle lady. I wanted to kind of like try to match the beach the best I could, not like wearing a dress that looked like a wave, but just wearing an outfit that I knew was going to look good with the beach location. When I set out to look for a dress, I was thinking pink. Like I wanted to do pink because that's going to be the color of my wedding, but I didn't end up finding any pink dresses that I liked that much. I got one off Amazon that I thought was okay, but I didn't end up going with it because it was just not my favorite. Then I saw this one at like Ross, I think, for 20 bucks and was like, this is a solid option. This one's really pretty and I love the off the shoulder. I think the off the shoulder looks flattering on me because I don't like my arms. So that was a really important detail to me. Like I love the off the shoulder. And that's another sort of tip for you. Wear something that you feel comfortable and confident in. My initial thought was the pink to match my engagement or to match my invitations because those are going to be pink. You know what? It doesn't even matter because they look really good on their own. And these pictures are going to be hanging in my house for the rest of my life. So I'm really happy the way they turned out. And I think the dress is a really important element of the photos. So whatever you wear is also going to be important. So pick something you feel comfortable in, matches well with your partner, and matches well with the environment that you're in. On the same topic of clothing, decide what you guys want to do in terms of, is it going to be fancy, casual, somewhere in the middle, and that's going to be important for obviously picking your outfit, but also your spouse's. Joel was asking what I wanted him to wear. I told him like I didn't want him to be in a full suit on the beach or anything, but we wanted it to still look nice. Like I wasn't in some ball gown. He didn't need to be in some suit, but I was dressed nicely and formally, and so we went with him a little bit more laid back for a guy. Like I wasn't crazy dressed up, but he was in a button down that he rolled up his sleeves, and he was in dress pants and dress shoes, so I think that's always like a solid go-to for the guys look. Button down with the rolled up sleeves and the dress pants. I think that's always a good look, personally. Just you'll want to try to match your level of fanciness is all I'm saying. Okay, so getting ready before the photo shoot itself, you can practice poses if you want to in front of the mirror together, like see what you think looks cute together. I did not do this with Joel, and it did not really seem to matter. I'm really happy with the pictures that we got. And when we actually did the photo shoot, most of it was pretty candid. We weren't really posing for a lot of the pictures, so it didn't even end up mattering to us. But everyone's different. Whatever, it's gonna be more what you want in your pictures and what your photographer's style is probably going to impact if you guys are even gonna be posing a lot. But most of ours were kind of candid, so a lot of him just sort of picking me up and spinning me around, or us just kissing or walking, literally just like walking on the beach was one of the things that we did a lot. A lot of like dipping me or stuff like that. So while there were some posed shots, there weren't a ton of them for us. And the ones that we do pose in, I honestly don't even like as much as I like the candid ones anyway. It's really hard to pick my favorites, but I think my two favorites are one of him just picking me up and spinning me around. And then I think another one of my favorites is just him dipping me and like kissing my neck, which wasn't posed. Like she obviously told us like, okay, dip her, kiss her neck, like that kind of thing. Like she kind of posed us, quote unquote, but it wasn't like we were stiffly doing something. It was kind of like fluid and we would be moving a lot, and that's kind of how it ended up. If you know your angles, like if you're a good model already, then that's great, but I wouldn't like worry too much about if you think you're particularly photogenic or very good at taking pictures, because it's really the photographer's job to find your angles, find where you look good, and pose you accordingly if they're gonna pose you. I don't particularly find myself photogenic. Most of the pictures that are taken of me, I'm like, nah, let's delete that and never have it seen again. But she managed to take like 70 plus. She took in total like 200 something pictures, but like 70 of them I ended up really loving, and it was really hard to narrow down the ones that I wanted to like post out of those 70, which for me, that's a win. That's a lot of pictures that I'm happy with myself in. That does not happen a lot for me. Even though I don't particularly like know my best angle and I wasn't trying to give her my best poses, ended up being great and loving a lot of the pictures. So I wouldn't worry like too much about that if that's something that you are concerned about, because it's something that like I tend to be concerned about. Okay, another getting ready tip. If you're gonna wear makeup, wear more makeup than you're used to wearing. I'm not a huge makeup person. I wear a medium coverage foundation, concealer, mascara, sometimes bronzer. And that is generally my go-to look for just day-to-day life. When I'm filming videos, I don't wear much more than that. Today I happen to be wearing eyeshadow. I don't even normally do that. I'll wear lipstick or lip gloss a lot of the times, but that's about it. For my pictures, I wore foundation, concealer, same foundation and concealer I normally wear. Like I didn't go out and buy a new one, like at full coverage or anything, but foundation, concealer, powder. Powder is very important to not look oily on camera, by the way. Eyeshadow, my eyeliner was just darker eyeshadow. I didn't wear like eyeliner just because I don't like particularly how I look. Every time I wear eyeliner, I never like how it looks. So I don't normally do anything to my brows besides brush them. I think I might have put in like a little bit of brown into my eyebrows. I wore bronzer, slight bit of contour. I don't know if it would be considered contour or not, or just like bronzer, but just some more than I normally do. 2 types of highlighters, lipstick, lip gloss. I think that was everything, but that's a lot for me. That was heavy makeup for me. So I recommend doing that because you know, it takes more makeup to even show up on camera at all. And I did my hair. Normally I don't do my hair. Like my hair, this is what it looks like. Every day it looks something like this, but I curled it and used hairspray to kind of try to keep it in place, which did not matter. Our pictures were taken on the beach where it's already windy. The wind I think was 20, 30 miles an hour, somewhere in that ballpark. It was insane. And you can tell that in many of the pictures. So my hair was crazy. And if you're gonna be outside, If it's super windy, that might happen to you too, but I just recommend hairspray to kind of try to keep it a little bit more in place. Joel's poor hair, that boy, he put gel in it, but it was messy. She even caught some pictures of me like trying to fix his hair because it was just going all over the place. A tip that I hear a lot is to get your hair and makeup trial done. Like for your wedding, your hair and makeup trial that you get, if you're gonna do one of those, do it on the day that you get your engagement pictures. I would have totally done that, except like I said, I'm getting married in a different location from where I am for the engagement pictures, so my hair and makeup person is going to be in Tennessee. That's totally an option if you want to do, if you want to like not have to worry about doing your makeup and it looking good on camera. Have it done professionally for your trial. Okay, so I only have a few tips for the actual photo shoot itself. Here they are. So first and foremost, I would say just be comfortable with your partner. I don't think you guys need to just be like trying to look super posed and pretty. That can come off as stiff. It can totally come off well if you're good at that. But honestly, for our shoot, we were not, like I said earlier, really posing that much. It was a lot of just laughing together and kissing and being happy and playing around with each other, and it shows on camera. I feel like it looks very much like we're just two people in love getting our picture taken. It doesn't necessarily look like models, you know, posing together. We just look like two people who love each other, and that is what I wanted to get across in the pictures anyway, because I don't care if we look like models. I just care that we're having pictures taken that show our love for each other. And I think when you're comfortable with each other and just feeling comfortable in front of the camera, that's when you're gonna look your best anyway. That's like my main tip. Just be comfortable with each other. Don't put too much emphasis on like trying to pose any certain way or being worried about if you look good in front of the camera. Just be comfortable and be happy with the love of your life, who you're taking these pictures with. Just enjoy yourself. You can like, there's a couple pictures where we're just like, we were talking in each other's ear and we're just like genuinely laughing, and I love those pictures because you can tell that we're just like genuinely laughing at each other and being happy, and just, I really like them. And my last tip is get on Pinterest, because Pinterest is amazing, or anywhere. YouTube, TikTok, doesn't matter. Find pictures of engagement shoots and see if there are particular photos that you really want, if it's being posed a certain way, if it's like the photographer doing something a certain way. See if you have some specific pictures that you would like, and then tell your photographer so that he or she can get that. I didn't really have any. The only thing that I specifically wanted was pictures of him picking me up, because I, first off, think those just pictures are absolutely adorable, but second, we don't have any pictures like that. We have a lot of pictures of us just like smiling at the camera or smiling at each other, but we don't have any of like him physically picking me up and like spinning me around, and I think those are really, really cute. So I wanted that. There are a million different types of poses and stuff that you can do for engagement photo shoots that are really adorable. So scour the internet, find the pictures that you want, and then tell your photographer, like, hey, I would like this picture, please. Again, I didn't really do that. I looked at Pinterest and I found pictures that I liked, but I didn't give any specifics that I wanted except for the pickup pictures, which we did plenty of. But that way, you can make sure that you have some poses that you really like. They're gonna pose you regardless. You're gonna look good regardless, but if you just have specific pictures you want, then get those in. All right, that's it for my tips. I had a ton of fun on my photo shoot. It was super, super, super enjoyable. Like, there's a lot of fun aspects to wedding planning. There's a lot of stressful aspects to it too, not gonna lie, but a lot of fun stuff too. Enjoy this. This is one of the really, really fun ones. So anyway, have fun with it. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, you can give me a thumbs up if you would like to. You can also subscribe if you would like to. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.